Why use box cake mixes when you can bake an amazing chocolate cake from scratch with little effort? I'm Marcy McDonald with Pacific Northwest Suburban Homesteading, and today I share a vintage chocolate wacky cake recipe plus a cheesecake and chocolate chip filled cupcake variant. A few years ago, a friend of mine from work gave me a recipe for chocolate wacky cake. It's also known as chocolate depression cake. It was created during the post-war depression era when there was not a lot of access to certain kinds of foods. There's a lot of rationing. But this particular recipe, which happens to be vegan, is vegan because it has no eggs and no dairy. A lot of cakes have butter, a lot of cakes have milk in them or similar ingredients. But this one does not. Instead, this particular recipe relies on the reaction between vinegar and baking soda to give it its light, fluffy texture. We will be doing two versions of this recipe today. We'll be making a cake. We'll be making cupcakes filled with cream cheese and chocolate chips. Let's get started. To begin with, we will be combining the dry ingredients. Flour, 1.5 cups flour, 1 cup sugar, 3 tablespoons cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon baking soda, half teaspoon salt. That's all of our dry ingredients. So let's get those all mixed up. You want to combine them thoroughly. So I tend to kind of mash the silicone scraper on the side because I don't really like finding the dry little bubbles in the cake. You want to fully integrate the baking soda to the dry ingredients so it will react evenly with the vinegar when we add it. So once you've combined all of your dry ingredients, you make wells. A larger well for your oil, a small one for your vanilla, kind of medium one for your vinegar. So let's start adding the wet ingredients. Add your oil. And now your vanilla. And finally, our vinegar. The really cool thing about when you add the vinegar is it starts foaming and fizzing right away because of the baking soda that is integrated into the dry mix. And the final part of this is we pour the cold water over all of it. You get some really good fizzing once this happens. And now we mix it well without beating. Again, I'm trying to break up any little lumps of dry stuff. You don't want to over mix it because you don't want to beat out the air from the carbon dioxide. But do try to combine it pretty well. For our cake, I will switch to the segment recorded for an upcoming kitchen science video. I even have a lab coat. The filled cupcakes use the same recipe, only the baking part is different. We got it pretty well combined. So let's set our oven. One of the beauties of this recipe is not only can you just mix it up in the pan, but you don't even have to grease the pan. And now our oven's hot. Let's put the cake in. Set a timer for 25 minutes. We'll be back shortly. Okay, the timer is going off. It's time to check our cake. Yeah, that's not ready yet. It jiggled. Yeah, definitely not done. Our oven tends to be a little cool, and it usually takes longer. So 25 to 30 minutes, it'll probably be at least 30. So let's set a timer for 5 minutes. Back in 5. All right, let's try this again. That came out pretty good. All right, I think we're good. Let's get this baby out of here. I've sprinkled a little powdered sugar to finish your cake, but feel free to use whatever kind of frosting that you like. Now that we have our cake batter, it's time to make the filling. The first step for the cream cheese filling is to take a 8-ounce brick of cream cheese. This has been sitting on the counter for a little while to warm up and soften a bit. I've changed the wrappers a little bit. There we go. I figured out how to open the cream cheese. Yay! So we dump the cream cheese in our mixing bowl. I'm gonna start mixing that a little. Get it up so it kind of flings out of the beater. Okay, so I kind of softened it up a little bit, scrape the sides. Right, into the bowl, there we go. Let's add our sugar. We also need 6 ounces of chocolate chips. The package with 8 ounces, so I weighed them out, and 1 large egg. I think I'm going to combine the egg and the cream cheese first. All right, let's get those combined. Scrape that down. Let's slowly add our chocolate chips, or maybe not so slowly. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, let's set that aside so we can fill our cupcake wrappers. Since we're making cupcakes, I'm going to use cupcake tins, obviously. And I'm going to use cupcake wrappers. I'm not hugely fond of the paper waste, but we can compost here. So just pop these in the tin. So we need to fill each of these 2/3 full of the cake batter. I will have to look into better ways to do this so it doesn't make a mess. Despite my best efforts, I just globbed it all over. I always make it look so easy on those cooking shows. My mom showed me how to do some baking stuff when I was a girl, but mostly I'm self-taught. So I'm figuring out as I go. Okay, that bowl's too heavy to do that way. The too large and heavy bowl made this more awkward than ideal, which contributed to the problem. I looked up better ways to fill cupcake liners after recording this. Most solutions involved portioning scoops, which I do not own. No suggestions seem feasible for us without buying things, so I'll have to experiment and get back to you. Yeah, I think a wash rag is in order. So unfortunately, we can't just lick the spatula. We can't just lick the bowl because E. coli has been found in flour. Now I knew about eggs and salmonella, so I don't eat cookie dough. But you can't safely eat regular flour straight out of the bag in baked goods anymore because of contamination. I'll put links down below for more information about that. Because there's information from our own government here in the US that says you can't bake flour to make it safe, but there is a link to the similar agency in the UK that says you can. So feel free to look at those websites and get more information. But in the meantime, my flour is raw, straight from the store, so I will not be licking the beaters or the spatula. Unfortunately, it's just not safe. Use a paper towel to wipe up the tin so it doesn't bake on. Despite my fat lack of finesse in putting the batter in, it's still a good recipe. Let's put the filling in more tidily. Okay, the recipe calls for about a teaspoon of batter in the center of each cupcake. Now we stick them in the oven, bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for, the recipe says 22 minutes, but we'll have to check them because the cake we baked earlier said it was supposed to be 25 to 30 minutes and it was 30 minutes. So we will check them, and if it's not golden brown, we'll stick them back in for a few minutes. So here we go. Now let's set a timer for 22 minutes. Okay, timer's going off. Let's check our cupcakes. Yeah, those are not quite ready yet. They're not really all that golden yet. So let's put them back in the oven and give them a few more minutes. Okay, let's set a timer for 3 minutes. Let's check them again. I think 2 more minutes. Okay, let's hope we got it this time. That's much better. Now we have a nice kind of golden color to the cream cheese. That's how we know it's done. Those look gorgeous. Now we just have to be patient enough to let them cool so we can eat them. Thanks for watching me bake this vintage chocolate wacky cake recipe and the cupcake variation. I hope you have fun making your own cake or cupcakes. Frost or don't frost, the cake and cupcakes are moist and delicious just as they are. I love the simplicity of this recipe, plus the nerdy science aspect. I will be releasing a kitchen science video soon exploring acid-base reactions using this cake recipe, among other edibles. Keep an eye on the channel or click the notification bell if you're interested. Until next time, be curious, keep an open mind, and never stop learning.